Paul, defensive tackle Vita Vea has been out for the first 22 days of Bucs training camp with a supposed back issue. But after he signed a contract worth a reported $6 million boost in his salary for 2026 and $24 million for next season, his back is now feeling, in his words, pretty good. This was quite the saga for the longtime Buccaneer, one that included a reported trade request. But the bottom line was this: Vea never wanted to wear another uniform. He loves Tampa. He loves the Bucs. And while there were reports he wanted to leave, that was never the case. It is just a part of the business that is the NFL.
I always wanted to be a Buc, and I wanted to be a Buc for life. And so I'm glad that we were able to get this done. This is something that happens every year. Just so happened to be me this year. But there's just stuff that we both had to figure out on both sides, and we got it all squared away. So I'm happy we can put that all behind us and move forward from here on out.
And from here on out, the Bucs will begin whittling down their roster to 53 players. There are battles at several positions to see who will make the team, and there's one competition that might be more important than most taking place over at One Buc Place. We are right in the thick of Bucs training camp.
We got 2 more games to play. We'll see.
And Bucs head coach Todd Bowles is eager to see how some position battles shake out.
It's wide open. There's everything up for grabs right there.
One spot that is very much up for grabs is the backup QB job.
It's open. It's been open.
It's an open competition between 3 signal callers: longtime veteran Jake Browning, second-year player Connor Bazelak, and undrafted rookie free agent Jalen Daniels.
We got a good room.
And Browning wants to be the guy in that room to become the Bucs' backup quarterback.
I'm not shying away from any competition and, bring it.
Browning was brought to Tampa Bay in the offseason as the presumed second string behind Baker Mayfield. But he knows that QB2 job was never a given despite his experience in the NFL.
I think anytime you're in the NFL and if you think you're above any competition, you're in the wrong business.
Browning is entering his 8th season in the NFL business and is ready to take his first snaps in a game for the Red Imputer this Saturday.
Want to go in, play with good feet, good eyes, operate the offense well, move the ball down the field, make the right reads, and that's kind of where my mind's at.
Because in his mind, the preseason is a great chance to showcase his abilities on a football field, not just for the Bucs, but for the rest of the league.
I think anytime you're playing, whether it's in-season, regular season, or preseason or anything like that, you're building a resume. You got to prepare and all that for your opportunities to play. And
if given the opportunity to be the Bucs' backup QB, Browning plans on giving it his all for Tampa Bay.
I've been backup for a while. I kind of have my routine that I prepare, and then once you get on the field, just feel that confidence in that preparation and just let it rip.
Some baseball as the Rays wrap up the series and the homestand with the Blue Jays. In the second inning, Kazuma Okamoto takes Ian Seymour for a ride, and Toronto takes a 1-0 lead. In the fourth, Junior Caminero responds with a shot off of the wall. That scores a run to even this one up at 1. But in the next inning, Nathan Lucas goes yard, and the Blue Jays, they just never look back. Toronto wins this one and takes the series 5-1. Tough homestand for the Rays. They go 2-5 at the Trop over the last 7 days. They'll have the Baltimore tomorrow. They'll play the Orioles. Stay with us. We're back after this. The Vita Vea contract saga with the Bucs is officially over as the big fella agreed to a 1-year extension that pays him $30 million in total, which equates to an extra $6 million this season and $24 million for 2027. The longtime Bucs defensive tackle had requested a trade, but he says that's way back in the rearview mirror and really is just a part of the business. Vea has dedicated his life to the Bucs, and there was really no other option for him but to stay in Tampa.
They took a chance on me on the draft, and I've been here ever since. And I fell in love with Tampa. I fell in love with my teammates. I love the organization, everybody who works here. I walk around every day with a smile on my face.
We know what he brings to our defense. He's the centerpiece of it. Obviously, he's a big part in the run game and the pass rush as well. So to get him back in the fold and start getting him working in with the other guys is good.
They say home is where the heart is, and I feel like my heart is in Tampa.
not expected to play in the preseason, but should be ready for Week 1 in Cincinnati. This will be his 9th season in town after his second contract extension with the Bucs. We are a little more than 2 weeks away from the first game of the USF season and the first game of the Brian Hartline era for the Bulls. And while the fans are certainly excited to see what South Florida can do under new leadership, perhaps no one is as stoked as Rob Higgins. Higgins made it very clear from the beginning of the hiring process that Hartline was the guy he wanted to lead his football program. The CEO of Athletics could not be more pleased with how his new head football coach has attacked his first head coaching job, from bringing in players from all over the country in the transfer portal and forming his staff. Higgins says Hartline has done a A+ job, and he's reminded about that effort on a regular basis.
There's a sign when we walk up the stairs right as you enter the football locker room that says consistency dictates greatness. And there's been so many times throughout this journey of getting to know Coach Hartline and his amazing family since December that have really put the stamp on how he's the perfect leader at the perfect time for us. But when I look at that sign and I see just how he embodies that, and we are so fortunate that he believed in us.
Before this homestand, the Rays won 9 straight games, all on the road. So when the team with the best home record in baseball comes back to the Trop after that stretch away from St. Pete, it felt like Tampa Bay was in for a big week. However, that was not the case. The Rays look to avoid going 2-5 at Tropicana Field over the 7-game homestand as they wrap up the series with the Blue Jays. In the 4th, Junior Caminero helps the case as he singles off of the wall. That ties the game up at 1, but this really was the Blue Jays' day. Case in point here in the 7th, bases loaded for George Springer, and he makes just the weakest contact here, but hits it right where the Rays aren't. That scores 2 runs. Rays lose 5-1. They dropped their 3rd straight series at home, but they're back on the road tomorrow, can right the ship against the Orioles.
The list is long of Springer's ways that he has beat up the Rays.
Seriously.
Sadly. From one team to another. Thanks, Mark.
When we come back, as health officials work to track down the cause of the cyclospora outbreak, the number of cases is trending downward. But that doesn't mean we're in the clear. We're going to have the details after the break.